everybody, Tim Norris here, or you could call me GreyElephant.
And Carmen Norris.
And welcome to episode 3.
Games you hate.
Ah! You know, and it could be instantly hated. And I titled this originally, Games You Instantly Hated. But let's face it, sometimes it takes a while for the hate to build, doesn't it?
Sometimes a little bit.
Kind of like a Sith, you know, good. Let your hate flow.
Like the first time you play, you can get through it. But, you know, other people keep wanting to bring it back.
It's like, darn you people, what's wrong with you? Yeah, so anyways, last week we talked about games we fell out of love with, and got a lot of comments, a lot of feedback. But before we get into it, you guys are going to notice I got a boo-boo. This is what I get for trying to be a handyman around the house. Now, actually, he
is a handyman.
I've been in construction for almost my whole life, good 20-some-odd years, okay? And this was one of those moments where I knew I was doing something stupid, and I did it anyways, and yeah, you know.
Story of his life.
Come on. Yeah.
Hey, you married me.
Oh, well, that was one of the best things I did. That wasn't a mistake.
I didn't figure that out right away.
Well, that's been 20 years too, so maybe it'll take me another 20 before that one. No.
Oh, it'll take you a while to figure out not to do that, huh?
No. Okay, so, you know, one of the things that we have our biggest discussions on, I never get to sit down first whenever we do these videos, because Carmen always has to choose her side, depending on how well her makeup, you know.
Or something, my hair, you know, something.
and it's funny because, you know, for me, it's just, did I put a clean t-shirt on, you know? Is my hair sticking up? No? Okay, I'm good, let's go. Yeah, it's totally different for guys compared to women. It's funny. But that's for everything, though, isn't it? I mean, I feel much, like it's always, you know,
I'm not one to go to Walmart in my pajamas. You see some people.
Are you sure? Well, maybe that's another topic. But anyway, we're here to talk about games. Let's talk about games, guys. Okay, so, all right, let's read off a few of the comments you guys made of games that you fell out of love with before we get into the hate. But before we even get into that, we got to go back one other, because we had a Johnny-come-lately in Randall Adkins. Now, Randall was games that got him into gaming were King of Tokyo, Ticket to Ride, Small World, and Agricola. Hey, that's not a bad selection there. That's great. I like that. Especially the Agricola for getting you into gaming. Wow. Yeah. Usually you think a lighter game.
Yeah, and Ticket to Ride was kind of an early one for us, so I could see that being a...
Ticket to Ride, it's interesting. That was the one that I kept looking at and wanting to trade for, but you were much on the fence on it. Finally, I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and wow, we really liked it.
I think we already had 10 days at that point.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be too similar, but...
Yeah, we end up liking Ticket to Ride more than the 10 days.
Yes, we do. We like it better. Okay.
Okay, so games we felt that you guys fell out of love with. You know, Carmen, why don't you start with number 1, and we'll just trade off.
Daniel Devine says Dominion.
Yeah, shocker, right? There's just better deck builders out there, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But Dominion started it all, so thank you, Dominion, for that. Now, get off my table. Now, Pencil Paulie, I hope, said Magic the Gathering, a game they fell out of love with. And he went into a whole story of exactly why. And it mainly just built around just when you're out of it, and then, you know, some of the decks just don't work, and trying the collectibles, so, you know.
Yeah, collectible stuff.
I'm not into collectibles in the slightest.
Mark Tippett says Battletech and Blue Max.
Yeah, and that was... He wrote me 3 times. Mind you, I got 3 emails from him because of you with the X-Wing thing. She drove X-Wing out of this house, Mark.
I did not force him to sell that at all. I did not.
I did make like...
That was your own decision.
I did make like $60 off of it,
yeah.
So it's not like it was all bad, right? And that just went into other games, right?
Probably,
right. Okay. Keith Walther says he loved Small World until about 12 plays. Same with Sentinels and Smash Up. Wow, I mean, that's exactly where we were, man. About, you know, 12 plays in or so. Smash Up, it didn't take me quite 12, but yeah, the other 2.
Yeah, okay. And Randall Adkins says Smash Up, Zombie Dice, Get Bit, 7 Wonders, Starflux, and Dominion.
There's Dominion and Smash Up again. I mean, wow. Sarah Reed, now, she says Agricola, that they're starting to. They haven't fallen out of love with it yet, but they're trying to use some of the different decks, and they're finding they don't like all the different types of decks. So they're going to just stick with one type, and totally get it.
Okay, then we have CR Flamespan, who says Settlers of Catan, Small World, and Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Wow, I'm sensing a theme or a pattern here, guys. Now, the discriminating gamer here. Now, I want to talk about this guy for just a minute because you guys may not know who the discriminating gamer is, but I've watched a few of his videos, and this dude is funny, okay? Go check out the discriminating gamer, and I don't think that you'll be upset that you did. I mean, a real funny dude. Does video reviews, and you can find him on YouTube, okay? And he said Fortune and Glory, which I've played that once. I don't think you played with us, though.
I don't remember that.
I didn't really quite enjoy the first experience of playing it because I like Eldritch Horror better, but at the same time, I want to play Fortune and Glory more because of Eldritch Horror. If that makes sense, because they're both very thematic games. And we played like the light version of Fortune and Glory, where I would like to get into the heavier portions of it. Maybe that bring out a little bit more of it. So.
Well, yeah. I could see wanting to try it more. And then Dragon Scholar says Legend of the Five Rings.
Now, Brock Osmond, you made a very good point here, and I like this a lot. And he says that he starts to lose interest in games when the mechanic proves to be very broken. And he used the example of Yu-Gi-Oh! And how some cards have become forbidden.
I think that happens with a lot of games as they get expansions. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they become. That's how we were with Eminent Domain. You know, I hated that expansion so much, it turned me off of the whole game. I mean, I just didn't like it anymore, So games that we hate. Wow, I mean, this is kind of a big deal. I mean, this is saying we don't want to ever play you. I mean, we will, but good God.
No.
I'd rather crawl underneath the table and try to maybe slit my wrist with a card before I do it. I don't know.
It's a pretty strong. We hate this game. We
hate
it.
And we don't want you guys to think we're overly negative on things. We're not. But, I mean,
that doesn't come along very often, a game that you hate, I tell you what.
And our list is actually a lot shorter. I think that we've come up with 7 of them. And, you know, I would almost say that a couple of these I don't necessarily hate, but at the same time, I don't ever really want to play them again.
Bad feelings come up when somebody gets the box and starts to put it on the table.
Yeah. Ready?
Ready.
Panic Station. Okay, Panic Station is a stronghold game, and we played this. And in fact, I got to tell you something funny about this game is that we've actually received this game twice. Both times this game has been given to us. Both times I've had to give away the game for free myself.
Apparently somebody else hates it too.
Yeah, so we've gotten it twice and given it away twice. You just can't do anything with it. The game was just mechanically just weird. It didn't make a lot of sense. You know, okay, you're going to try to infect me because you're the alien.
Right, and gasoline is what prevents that.
What the heck does...
How does that... It doesn't make sense.
Boy, I'm feeling the theme in that.
Yeah.
Here, take this gas can. You're not going to infect me. And what's even worse, my Android all the way across the board, because you have a person in an Android that are your players, he could be way over here, I'm over here, but you can infect my Android and somehow I get infected? What? What?
I think that it takes a certain group of people. It takes the right size. It takes the right chemistry.
No.
Well, okay, well...
No, don't try to defend it!
We haven't found that group. I guess that's the point. We haven't found that group. For one thing, I think that the game is way too long because you know how it's going to end.
What was funny was...
early on. And then you just have to live through the rest of it.
Didn't we find out who was infected, like, really early?
Yeah.
Because you can openly discuss what's going on.
And that's supposed to be the, fun of the game, but, we still have to finish playing it,
Yeah,
you know?
We figured it out because supposedly it's open information. So if somebody tries to infect you... Hey, he just tried to infect me. No, you tried to infect me. Until you tried to infect the next person, you get accused again. That's it. Now the whole game's just structured around staying the crap away from that guy and just going to find the aliens and then burn it down. Boring. That was horrible.
Nah, it's just not a good co-op, unfortunately.
So the next one we've got on our list, you haven't played this
I have not played Galaxy Trucker.
Galaxy Trucker. I did not enjoy Galaxy Trucker, guys. I played this game like 3 times. And the first time... Okay, let me back up for a second here, okay? Half of this game is pretty fun. Building your ship on a timer and trying to race your opponents, that's pretty fun. I enjoyed that aspect of it. But from then on, it is 100% luck that you will accomplish anything in this game. Anything, okay?
Yeah, that would annoy me.
Oh, it was absolutely horrid. All that happened to me was that it was like our second leg of the game, and I had a couple of engines, and a fluke happened, and I lost both of my engines, and so I basically had to sit there for the rest of the leg watching everybody else finish playing while I just twiddled my thumbs and didn't do anything. Now, mind you, you still get to play the rest of the game, which you already know that you're 100% out of, because you were basically, destroyed early in this leg.
I think that's a pretty common theme with games we hate.
Oh, God, it was...
You have to sit there and finish the game.
It was miserable. I hate Galaxy Trucker. I never want to play that again. What a mess. What a mess. And I know that a lot of people love this game, but honest to God, I don't know what in the world you see. It's just a chaotic, silly mess of a bunch of things that happen randomly. You know what? I can take dice and roll them. Look, I won this time. Oh, got me that time. That's just as much fun. Okay.
Speaking of a chaotic, silly mess, Munchkin.
Go ahead.
Well,
Munchkin, yes. I'll let you start.
I think part of it depends on the group you're playing with, but the rules in this game are purposely written to where you're going to argue about them. And I do not find that enjoyable, especially if you're playing with a rules Nazi. And,
oh my God, don't remind me.
Yes. In addition, the game just lasts way too long. It's funny for like the first 5 minutes because the cards are funny. But there's no strategy to the game. And it just won't
drags.
End.
Die, game, die! I remember sitting there and playing that, and I just had these visions of just, how can I excuse myself away from this game? Surely I could fake an injury, a paper cut, maybe I bumped my elbow on the table, need to go.
Make some noises in the bathroom.
Oh, guys, just go on without me. This game drug on, it drug on, and it was so, like you said, at first I was like flipping my card, bam, that's fun, okay, let's do it. And then halfway through the game, I wasn't able to do anything. Every card I flipped, nothing was happening. So once again, I got to sit there and experience nothing. I hated that game.
And I think there's a lot of card games that, the cards are funny or they have good artwork, but the game just doesn't work.
I think, this is not a game I've ever played, but I put Cards Against Humanity in there because it's one of those ones where it's like, it's shocking at first and it's funny at first, but after a while there's only so many jokes you could make of the human reproductive system that after a while, let's face it, we're done, right? Right? I would hope. Okay, maybe not. Okay. Are you ready to move on to the next one?
We are ready to move on.
All right, so unfortunately this is one you have not had the pleasure to experience, so let me explain it to you. And I'm just going to, it's Revolution. Now it seems like we're on a Steve Jackson kid, but we're not, okay? I'm not destroying Steve Jackson games, okay? I just hate these games. So I'm going to explain to you this awesome mechanic in this game, and you tell me, just based off of this, how wonderful this game would be to play. So you've got a main board, okay? And there's each board has buildings. And what you're trying to do is take your cubes and you want to place them in these buildings because there's only X amount of space in each building. And you're trying to gain majority in them. Each building is worth X amount of victory points that at the end of the game you'll gain as long as you have the majority. That seems cool, right? How do you get your cubes in there? Totally is awful. It sucks. You do it by blind bidding. Blind bidding. Each player has a screen placed in front of them that has a board. You will then take either money, blackmail, or this thing called force, which is a fist, and you're going to place them on certain places of your player board while all the other players are going to do this. You don't know what everybody's doing. These are going to allow you then to try to place your cubes onto the board. Then everybody reveals their board at the same time. Now here's the best part.
Okay.
If I put, say, 2 coins on one action and You put 2 coins on one action. Guess who gets to take the action?
No one.
No one!
He's already told me this.
This is so much fun! And when you play with a big group of people, guess what? You don't ever get to take your actions. It's a blast! And you can have whole turns where you don't get to do anything. And that's so much fun. I can't express to you the fun in this game.
Sounds very enjoyable.
I hate this game. I really do. It is one of the worst games I have ever played. In fact, I would play Munchkin before Revolution.
No,
I do not like this game. Blind bidding. I don't know why in the world you would ever incorporate that into a game is beyond me. I am so blah about this game. The thing about it is, certain things will trump others. Like, I think it's the force trumps the money, and blackmail trumps everything. So you could still put, force on something, but, somebody else put blackmail, so you lose. I mean, it's just... I'm done. I digress. Revolution, if you like blind bidding, go for it. Trust me, it's a horrible game. Go ahead.
Number 5, Couriers.
I'm done ranting for a little while. I'll let you start.
Well, we started out,
we
really liked Couriers. I mean, we were like, hey, cool, it's dice building instead of deck building. That's a neat idea, But we just kind of hate it now, unfortunately.
Why? Why do you hate it, though? The randomness? I mean, what is it?
I think that's the main thing. Yeah, it's just so random what you're going to get out of your bag, and you could have a really good dice in there, and you just never pull it out.
Yeah. We, okay,
luck.
so...
I don't like luck. I like planning.
I'm going to be honest. The best thing that Couriers ever did for me is that I was able to trade off my Couriers set and get a copy of Robinson Crusoe. That is the best thing that game's ever done. We bought this back when it first appeared at Gen Con. In fact, we still have the little tin, okay?
It was pretty exciting at Gen Con, It
was a new concept and all that. And I think it just wears off, It's just one of those things where it's like, after a while you realize, there's better games and I'd rather spend my time playing those.
Right. It takes a lot of time to set up, too.
Bought 2 of the expansions, and then they just sat. We just weren't playing them ever. Now, I do think that when you play, whenever you score, you coal, that's a little bit better. But when you're not playing by those rules, the game is just, somebody just runs away, typically, and it just... I don't understand the fun of just trying to sit down and play a whole game that really is dependent upon the first couple of rounds to see who buys what, because it can all boil down to that. You bought a better creature this first round than I did, chances are you're going to win.
Yeah.
Let's just pack it up and call it a day. Let's start on something else. The last game I played, because, let me go back a little bit. We had the Couriers game. Didn't play it. Finally, I traded that off for Robinson Crusoe, a much better game, highly recommend. My friend just did pick up, in fact, it's Griffin Gaming. You'll see their little ad at the end of this little show. He picked up the Light and Dark, I think it's called, pack of Couriers. And so we played it, and it's got a few little different twists. A couple of the dice always stay out, but the problem, once again, is still, if you're not rolling... If you're not picking them out of the bag and you're not rolling, you just flat out cannot win. And I don't care what you feel like, there's no strategy really built into bad rolls. You just can't fix that. I scored a whopping 3 points in a 4-player game, and it all boiled down. The only reason I scored those points was because I utilized a public spell that everybody had access to that, and I was able to score and coal some dice and score 1 point each time 3 times because I actually had a bunch of monsters in my bag, and every time I rolled them, 2 times I was able to summon them. That's it, out of the entire game. 2 times out of the entire game, I was able to summon my monsters. That is awful. I am sorry. That is horrendously awful.
Yeah.
So, I'm done with Couriers. Hate it. Stick a fork in it. Throw it out the window. Will it blend? I wish it would. So, what does that mean? I want to start sticking games in blenders. Anyways, go ahead. All right, so what's our next one?
Couriers would be a fun one to stick in the blender.
I don't know. We'd have to get a really industrial blender.
You'd probably kill it. Yeah. Number 6 is Red November. And a friend had let us borrow it because...
No, I bought it.
You bought it?
Yeah.
He recommended it because he really liked it. And his wife liked it. So he thought, hey, you guys should try this out. It was just so clunky and just miserable. just miserable. It was funny that if you drink alcohol, you improve your stats, but other than that, just wasn't fun.
It's kind of like in real life when I drink alcohol. I improve in my stats, isn't it?
Well, it does put you in a better mood.
Well, it typically puts me to sleep.
Maybe a little both. You know, better mood for a short time than you go to sleep.
I will say this. I mean, I think I am one of the funniest people that whenever I get drunk. I mean, I am funny. Right?
Makes me want to kick him.
My brother's not a good drunk. Anyways.
At least here, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy this game very much either. I thought the whole concept was kind of cool, you know, in a submarine and,
right.
you know, it's sinking and you're trying to, you know, get the tools, seal hatches, all this and that.
It's a cool concept.
But ultimately, it was just like you said, it was fiddly clunky, and overall, bottom line, just better games. Why do I want to play a game like this? There's much better ones out there. So yeah, it
just feels like a waste of time.
Yeah. So are we gonna do this? We're gonna rant on this one again.
Number 7.
Smash Up. I hate it. I'm sorry. I know we talked about that we fell out of love with it. It's not just I fell out of love with Smash Up. I just hate it.
Just the feeling is too strong to say fell out of love with. It was a bad breakup.
It was a bad... I want my stuff back!
We're never going to get over this.
I don't like Smash Up at all. I mean, I really cannot play this game. I mean, people mention it and I immediately cringe, just like I do with Revolution, just like I do with Munchkin. You know, Coyers now. I don't like these types of games.
It reminds me of Munchkin in that it's like you think the cards are funny and you think, oh, this is going to be great, and then you play it and it just...
I think you're right because it's kind of the nostalgia. It's kind of like, ooh, I'm going to be these man-eating plants and zombie man-eating plants. And that's a neat concept because I'm going to have zombies and man-eating plants.
Exactly. The whole game should be that you just pick your factions and write it down and then you're done.
Come up with funny names.
Come up with funny names.
And whoever comes up with the funniest name wins.
Hey.
Don't pull the cards out. Don't do that.
I'm the zombie pirates.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you didn't give me a high five. I would have... I'd have cried like a little girl. Okay, so that is actually it. We've got 7 of them, and as you can tell, I mean, we've been gaming for a long time, and that's not that big of a list. Now, I mean, we do have other ones we could put down, but, I mean...
I don't really remember games that I hate, you know, because I play them once and I'm done with them, and...
Typically, we just move on, don't we?
Yeah.
But what were the games that you guys said you hated, okay? Because, I mean, come on, we're not the only negative people around here, right? I mean, we've had other people that have hated games. So I thought we'll read them off. I mean, some of you guys already made comments on the games you hated, and some of you have not. But if you want to, leave a comment below, or you could email us as usual, whatever you want to do, and we'll read you guys off just the same. So, Josh Murdoch says he hates Smartass, Glory to Rome, and Le Havre. Is that Le Havre or Le Havre?
I think it's Le Havre.
Le Havre. Is that French?
I think it's supposed to be.
I've heard good things about that game. I'm kind of shocked. And I've heard good things about Glory to Rome, too. Josh, I really question this. Josh, I love the way your name's spelled. Jawsh. Every time I see that, I think of Jaw.
Yeah, and I remember it. He comments on a lot of our stuff, too.
I'm going to draw a little shark here.
Okay.
Jaws. Oh, that is the worst shark ever.
Okay, Ray Slover says, I know it's one of your favorites, but Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. Ray.
What is it, Ray? You're kicked out of the club.
I had to read that, but I really didn't want to.
Now, I'm not 100% sure if he meant to file that as a hate or if a game he fell out of love with. So, I'm not 100% sure. We'll let you clarify on that.
But either way, he doesn't like it. So, okay, and then Ray's wife says, Arkham Horror, way too complicated and far too long.
She needs to try Eldritch Horror. Much better, much more streamlined. I've never played Arkham Horror, but everybody says go to Eldritch, and I love Eldritch.
Yeah, we love Eldritch, so. Okay,
Kevin Erskine. God, guys, I'm going to keep butchering your names. I'm so sorry. Power Grid. Wow, yeah, that's not the first time I've heard somebody say that. They do not like Power Grid. Never played it, and I'm starting to think kind of maybe a good thing.
Well, Tim Bresnan says
good
Risk.
Risk.
And that's
shocker, right?
not Yeah, that's not surprising. So.
Yeah. And Matthew McKenzie says, McChesney. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. He says that his wife, that you and his wife actually sound exactly the same. It's not that he hates a specific game, but any game that deals with high luck and dice rolls.
Yeah.
Just his wife doesn't like him either, but high strategy and planning, yeah, that she loves that. So
strategy and planning, like that.
Now we had gotten a compliment, and I wanted to pass this along. That Aaron G said that likes the new format that we're using, building a relationship with your audience, then slide in an intimate conversation. Intimate. With the viewers. Well done, Grey and GreyElephant. I enjoy being part of the community. Yeah,
thanks, Aaron.
Really appreciate it, man. We really do. It's, we've tried hard, and we find that a lot of times we just want to say more and more about what we enjoy about this hobby, and you really can't do that in reviews as much,
Yeah, and sometimes, we want to talk about a game, we don't necessarily need to do a full review of it. But,
yeah. And speaking of that, another person commented, and I wish I'd printed that up too, that they like this style versus actually, going over positive reviews. Sit down, talk about games. What do you not like about them? What do you like about them? And just, explain a little bit more in a more like, as Aaron put, intimate.
In a more intimate fashion.
I like intimate. Intimacy.
He's trying to embarrass me on camera again.
It's not working, is it?
You're going to try to do that every week, aren't you?
I made you blush last week, and that was kind of funny. That was cute. All right, we forgot our little random ramblings. We still haven't put this in anything else special. We're still using this same little Halloween bucket we got from Disney World.
I love that Halloween bucket.
That was a fun time. You ever get a chance to go trick-or-treating in Disney World? Man, I highly recommend that.
It's awesome.
It's a blast. You want to go first or second?
I'll go first. Get it over with. Rip off that Band-Aid.
No.
Okay.
Ooh, this is a good one. Name one game that is no longer in your collection that you regret letting go. Ooh.
Castle Ravenloft. Is that the name of it?
Oh, yeah, Castle Ravenloft, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good
Dungeons
one.
and Dragons, Castle Ravenloft.
I missed that one, too.
We got rid of it because we got the Super Dungeon Explorer. And we thought they'd be too similar, and so we'd never play it. But I really miss Castle Ravenloft. I miss the way you could set up your own little scenario
and maps and all that.
And Super Dungeon Explorer requires, it used to require a dungeon master.
Yeah.
And there's supposed to be a way to play it.
We haven't played it yet,
but
though.
we haven't.
Well, we haven't played it in years. It feels like. Yeah. So Castle Ravenloft, that's a good one.
So I wish we had kept Castle Ravenloft. I think we would maybe play it more often.
We had it, and we had the Wrath of Ashlardon, however you say that.
Yeah.
We had both of those. And, yeah, I do. I know. Maybe it's one of those ones we'll end up finding later, and we'll just bring it back into our collection again.
Yeah.
Maybe Santa will bring it.
It was fun.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Secret Santa. Remember this.
I was looking at you when I said Santa.
Oh, my Santa?
Well, you think that I think that there's a real Santa? I'm not 7 anymore.
This is an interesting question for Tim. It's actually not about gaming. What TV shows are you currently watching?
I don't watch much TV. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Regular programming. I don't watch regular programming. I never watch regular programming. I get bored of that stuff.
So what do you watch on the internet?
If it's NFL season, I will watch. That's the only time I watch regular television is when the NFL's on, and I'll watch football. Now, for my other enjoyment of television, I love anime. We watch all kinds of anime. Right now, I'm watching Bleach. Have you ever watched Bleach? It's pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's my favorite anime, but there's an awful lot of those episodes, so it's pretty cool. I love Fairy Tail, even though I think they're getting kind of silly with the way they're drawing these girls with their boobs all sticking out. I don't understand that fascination with anime and them exploiting girls like that.
Attractive anime people.
It's creepy, downright creepy. But I love Fairy Tail. We're watching as well. What's that one?
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online. That one's pretty cool. In fact, they got the second season, and Carmen and I just started watching that. I like The Walking Dead whenever it's out. Game of Thrones. I love a Game of Thrones. Those aren't animes, obviously. Getting back to animes, what else was we watching there for a while that we... Oh, Attack on Titan! Wow, if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, that's one of the best animes. Creepy, but fun. Black Butler, that's a good one. What's some more?
I don't know, I watch a lot of the girly ones.
You was like Fruit Baskets and all that. Yeah, I'm not into that stuff. I need action.
Death Note.
Oh my god! Death Note is so fun. If you've never watched anime before, start with Death Note because it is so awesome and a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's like a movie they made into anime. And then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh my god, yes!
So we've been done with that one for a while.
Yeah,
so
that's why
it's not really a current one.
Cosme No Stigma, we watched that.
Yeah, that one was just
Knights or I don't know. I watched some. I watch a lot of anime. That's about the only thing I can tolerate really on TV. Anything with real actors, I get bored.
Legendary Heroes.
Yeah, Legend of the Legendary Heroes. I watched that, and yeah. So as you can see, yes. Now, one thing I want to say, I never used to watch anime before. We just recently kind of got into this, and then we just like dove head first in. And it's going to be interesting going to Gen Con this year because now I'm probably going to recognize a lot of the stuff that's around in some of these booths.
I hope so. That's gonna be. Oh wait! You forgot a show you watch that we're waiting for. Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I do love Doctor Who as well. Yeah, that's Doctor Who, The Walking Dead, and Game of Thrones. Those are my only ones I'll watch with real actors. Other than that, it's all cartoons. You know. Yeah,
but Fairy Tale's still going on, so it's current.
So we speaking of Gen Con, we are getting awfully close, guys. Gen Con is it's like 3 weeks away. So I think it's about time that we start talking a little bit more about Gen Con and what are we excited about come Gen Con. I know that for me, I keep going to Board Game Geek, checking over their updated list that they keep putting up, and seeing all these cool games. Seems like there's some publishers that are putting out some stuff, and what will be the sleepers, what are going to be the surprise hits? I already think I know what one of them's going to be, and I think we'll talk about that one. But next topic for next week will be a series. We're going to do part 1 next week, and then we'll have probably a part 2 after that. But it'll be Gen Con. Let's talk about the games that are coming out, what's got you excited. Also, feel free to send us any messages, emails. Remember, send it to this email address here. Gen Con Experiences Games. When was your first Gen Con? Let's share some stuff here, guys. And we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. So, Gen Con Experiences, new game releases. We got a lot to discuss here, guys. So, until then.
We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Griffin Gaming, from new releases to pre-orders. Griffin Gaming. Enter in promo code GreyElephant for 5% off your order.